just say a minute on the subject.
All right, everybody got their phones turned off, turned down. Call the meeting to order with the pledge of allegiance. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Barter, Mazer, Schneider, Sofa, Weaver, Wilson, Zimmer.
Here.
All right, then agenda items from the sidelines. Mr. Potemkin, if you go ahead and stand up and talk for us, please.
Stand up?
Yeah.
So I'm looking to ask permission to use the ball field over at the youth center. I coach a travel softball team, and we have 40%, 4 girls from our team is Memphis girls. So just to make things a lot easier on a lot of families traveling around, we'd like to ask to use the ball fields for the upcoming season. I don't know if there's any permits or anything involved, but just we would want to be able to show up and not have anybody else there, just to, if we have a game scheduled, then we would be able to use the field, I guess is the biggest thing we're looking for. We would help maintain the fields for sure, clean up after ourselves, and hopefully bring a lot of business in with other teams coming, because we have a lot of teams from out of Richmond, Armada, St. Clair, Croswell, a bunch of teams with different times coming in, so we'd like to use the field like 3 days a week if possible.
And you're okay with mowing the field?
Yeah, we definitely mow the field, that's no big deal, because I live right up the road here, so we would definitely take care of the field.
Can you give us a schedule? Would you have it?
There's no water baseball, right?
Just
I
so
can
we
give you I can do that,
Yeah.
and then would you like our practice schedule too, that we'd like?
No, I think you'd be alright for practice. We just want to make sure that nobody's gonna want it.
Yeah, that's not.
Sometimes there's renters at the Lions Club and they like to use the fields,
Okay,
very rarely. But just so we know when you're gonna have games.
definitely, I definitely do that. And then what if we do like a pop-up scrimmage here and there, is that something you do definitely wanna know up at a time?
I wouldn't have a problem with any of that. I would just like to make sure that we know when your games are gonna be.
Perfect, those are the biggest ones is our games, I mean, it's really not a ton of, like, I think we only have 6 home games that we'll have this year that.
I don't see anybody using it right now. so-
No, we need someone to use them because they go bad if you don't.
Yeah.
Do you think this is something we should add on to the agenda at the end and take a
And
vote
vote
on
on
it?
it? Yeah, I make a motion, we'll.
I'll make a motion right now.
Oh, you want, can we do it
Sure, I'll
now?
make a motion right now.
Do you do concessions or anything like that?
We
Do
do
you have
not,
food trucks or?
we do not.
No,
One question, should we put anything in writing as far as an agreement for maintenance of the field? Or just, he's gonna use them, he's gonna maintain them?
no, we got it, Ricky.
Well, I'm assuming you
No, so, I'm very particular in the fields, we like it to look, we wanna play on the best fields, we make them the nicest we can do, we get the weeds out, we will definitely, we're not, we like to.
I know the front field, for example, at the end of McGuire.
Yeah, that one
That's
is a rehab.
That's getting pretty weeds and such. On the back field, I'm not certain of that. It might need to be dragged or.
So which one is
Massage.
the?
You're talking the one with the fence, right?
Yes.
The one without the fence.
The one that's generally used for cheese
He's talking about the
balls.
one with the fence,
Well,
right?
with the fence is one.
You're talking about
There's the one you're
the,
gonna use, you're not gonna use the other one?
Correct.
you're talking about the back field.
The backfield, yeah, that's the one I would prefer
Okay.
to use.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been out there multiple times already this year dragging it and just, cause we practiced a couple times, I brought some girls out there to practice.
What's the name of your team?
The Blue Water Wolves.
I make a motion to let the Blue Water Bulls use the diamonds at the Lions Club.
Support?
Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Martyr.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, appreciate it, thank you guys.
Thanks.
Okay, comments from city administration. Bart?
I don't think it's on here, but our water main project over on Robert Noe Street, they have the extra hydrants, all the hydrants are in. They just connected to Eleanor Street. So they can now feed that water main. But it still needs to be tied into Belvedere Road and then tied in over on the Pratt Road.
So in the meantime, they're operating off of the old main, so.
Yeah, they're still operating off the old mains, they haven't started the tie-ins yet, but, right now, if they wanted to, they could. But, oh, and I did receive, we did, backfeed samples on it. And as of Monday, as of yesterday, we got the second one back, and it showed that it was good, so.
Good, glad to see we're moving forward with that.
Yeah.
I don't see any other administrators here. So-
Parks and Rec?
Park and Rec, yeah.
Who's here for Parks and Rec? Oh, Becky, you're Parks and Rec now?
Yeah. Do you want me to add anything?
Yeah, we
now?
can.
Anything for us?
I just keep, yeah, just a minute, sorry. I could just tell you, what's coming up, sorry, Chris. So, we have a trip on this Thursday, actually, that we're doing, it's our second trip. We have another one coming up in June, and then we have our daddy-daughter dance at the end of the month. Senior lunches are going well, we have another one of those next week, and then I have all the music in the park scheduled for this summer. So, yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything for you.
Well, that's plenty, thank you very
Kind of
much.
keen to hear what's happening.
What's the trip in June?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
What's the trip in June?
The trip in June is the Motown Museum. Yeah.
Is there
So-
still seats available, or?
I haven't even posted it yet,
Okay.
but there'll be 24 seats for that one. Yeah, yeah. And I have just a small bus going in May to the Eastern Market, but that filled up before I even had a chance to post it. Yeah.
Thanks, Becky.
Yep, you're welcome.
And I just wanna say we're gonna be closed for a short time on April 12th for a clerk's meeting.
And I spoke to the police chief today, and he couldn't make it tonight, but he just wanted to let everybody know that we have ordered new radios. He put the official order in, so we got the previous price, and he'll be here to talk about those at the May meeting.
Good. All right, adoption or amendment to the agenda. Any amendments? If not, I'll take a motion to adopt it.
I'll make a motion to adopt the agenda.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Weaver, Wilson, Zimmer,
Yes.
Martyr,
Yes.
Mazer.
Yes.
All right, next up, approval of the regular meeting minutes of March 5th, 2024. If we don't have any corrections, I'll take a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
Support.
Sofa, Weaver, Wilson,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Martyr,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider.
Yes.
All right, presentation and approval of the May disbursements report of $150,657.
That should be March.
Oh, well, I'm reading what it says.
Yeah.
March. Yeah, the March disbursements, not May. Of $150,657.72, and the electronic wire transfers of $12,168.11. Can I get a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the disbursements for March of $150,657.72, electronic wire transfers, $12,168.
Support.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Martyr,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa.
Yes.
Couple quick questions before we just move off this from now on education here. What have we been doing for like tree removal last month? I see we had a couple of different categories, and I was just wondering how that worked. In the budget, we had some for preservation of streets, Department 463, and then the water and sewer systems. And I see there was just one
Yeah.
cut to advanced tree, but I was just wondering.
Yeah, I had a couple
how
trees
that works.
come down in front of my gate at the lagoon area, so that would come out of the water and sewer funding. And then, had some trees, that were rotted over on Bell River Road, right over the fence, or right over the, right, at the bridge, right near Larry Wilson, bridge that crosses down there. That we've been slowly cleaning up, but we've been doing this in-house as you're going up, southbound on Bell River, just to the south side of Larry Wilson. There was always a lot of trees, just little ones laying against the communication lines and that. Anyways, we done that in-house, so we got those cleaned.
I have one other quick question, Bart, for you too, is like the winter maintenance expenses, is that like asphalt or salt or?
Winter maintenance,
Yeah,
for supplies, it would only be salt. And I don't anticipate ordering any more salt this year. I only purchased one 30-ton load, I think in
yeah, I was just kind of
February
curious
or
what
whatever
that was
it
tied
was.
to, again, just for my own
But,
information.
so I'm sure I'm gonna have leftover. And that's how I like to start the new season with a stockpile, so.
And we got the pumps, 54,000, is that for the lowest project there, expense under water sewer systems, northern?
What is it?
Pumps. That was a replacement of our pumps from the wall pumps, right?
Oh,
That was northern pumps, and the one's already in, but we still got need to build.
we're talking about the wells there?
Well,
Yeah, they have two more. They did one just before the water main project, and I did not want to have any wells down. Well, they're tearing in the water mains and that, so.
So that's
I'll
not
come back.
tied into the lowest and Robert something?
No, that's just replacement on pumps that have been there for a lot of years now.
Okay, that's all I.
Replace them before they die.
Yeah, and they, again, after the water main project, they'll be back to do the well number 2 and number 3.
Communications, can I get a motion to put communications on file, please?
Motion?
Support.
Wilson,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Martyr,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
All right, first up from the Memphis Lions, they're requesting to approve their annual White Cane sale on the corner of Main and Boardman from 8 AM to 5 PM on Thursday, April 26th, and Friday, April 27th. No Saturday?
Oh,
Why don't we approve, why don't we approve them?
I got the dates, I got the, wrong.
So you do it Friday and
Friday and Saturday, yeah.
It's Friday and Saturday?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, it's Friday, April 27th.
Six.
And,
No, it's
Friday's
the
the
date's right.
oh, Friday's the 6th, okay, so,
I just got the,
got it.
I got the dates right.
So the 26th and the 27th.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Martyr,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Next up, we've got a letter here from Mike Dawson from Sage Creek Winery, looking to do their annual dog rescue event. It's the same thing that they've done pretty much yearly here, and looking to be able to set up, the big thing is be able to set up in the parking lot over here on the Sunday for their, the adoptions, and also they have a liquor control license over there for the day. And I think everybody's able to see that they've got everything in order here as they've done in the past. So, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Martyr,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Weaver, Wilson, Zimmer.
Yes.
All right, moving right along into unfinished business. We're going to adopt the ordinance number 224 for our rental inspections. Has anybody got anything on this? Anything you want to pick apart anymore? I think we've gone through, made a couple corrections on this.
Yeah, it was introduced last meeting,
Right,
which I made an error on.
yeah, that's okay.
I'll make a motion to adopt the, ordinance, number 224.
Support.
Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Martyr.
Yes.
There was a couple typos, and I gave a copy to Donna, so she can correct them.
Okay, beautiful. Okay, next up, a bunch of stuff here coming from the DPW. First up is gonna be the sidewalks on Pratt Road. I don't know if everybody's had a chance to look over what we wanna do there, and it's gonna be, covering the cost of, basically, covering the cost of 3 additional houses. on Pratt Road to extend the sidewalks from the new developments across the front of the 3 homes that are to the east of there.
Can I just make a comment?
Absolutely.
Yeah, right. I'm just gonna read what I put down here, it kind of explains it all. In improving the 13 Memphis Meadows development with 6 homes on Pratt Road, the Memphis Planning Commission recommended and with council's approval to provide sidewalks in front of the homes for the following safety reasons. To eliminate a major pedestrian hazard to those walking from Bell River to Memphis High School ball field. To complete this project, we need to install sidewalks to the 3 homes on West Bell River Road and North of Pratt Road. We will request additional quotes. We have one, but we'll request additional quotes, and we'll write a letter to the homeowners for their approval.
My question, timeline, would we time this in accordance when they have to build that last house there, because they're already gonna be out there, or is this something we're gonna do separately?
I think, Steve did talk to Mark on it. I think we'll probably just do it on our own.
Just whenever,
Yeah,
yeah,
right.
whenever those 3 if those 3 houses say yeah.
Yeah.
What happens if the houses say no?
Pardon?
What happens if the homeowners say no?
And they can pay for them, because you gotta have
I'm
a
just,
sidewalk.
I know, I'm just saying, are we prepared for that?
I hope not.
I'm not sure, but
I don't think they'll say no
No.
based on,
Well,
As long as they're aware that the maintenance is on them, you know. that's
Yeah,
all.
the future maintenance will be on them, and normally we wouldn't do this, but from what I understand, when there's ball teams going down
Yeah,
there or playing, there's a lot of traffic, and they're on the road.
they walk
so
in the
this-
middle of the road.
Yeah, so this would create for a safety reason.
I
think.
completely agree. I don't think they will say no, I'm just saying, are we prepared if they're like, well, we don't want that?
So-
Donna, you'll notify it now, because I'll go over and talk to them also, but I don't want them to look at whether
It will be in the city right away?
Once it gets approved.
It will be?
Yeah,
I'll
we
try
can't
to-
put it on
I'll
their
try to write a
property,
letter.
so they really have no say in it.
So it'd be on, okay, I see what you're saying.
How wide is the sidewalk in front of the home?
Sidewalk now,
5
it has to
feet.
be
So
5 feet.
that-
5 feet.
So it will have to be 5 feet,
Yeah,
okay.
well, that's the state law now. So-
These are gonna connect to the sidewalk that's side of
That's
the school field, the school property? Okay.
Do you know how they're, because Steve, you know this, there's that dip right there.
Yeah,
where
that's
the
why
bump
Memphis
was.
Meadows said they really prefer not to deal with that, so Larry had a quote there from another company, I think I gave you part of another one that Memphis Meadows gave me the phone number too, so that would actually be 3 that we had.
Yeah,
But that was a little
drainage.
tricky, and they said they
Is that drainage,
didn't want
little
really.
drainage?
So Memphis Meadows doesn't want to deal with
No,
that dip.
sidewalk.
No, because of
There,
that,
so
they thought it would be
That's
better
what we're
off
talking.
City.
somebody else.
Yeah, do have to put
So
a
we'll-
culvert under it. and-
So will we
Either a
pay up
culvert or-
through that?
I'd rather get,
Yeah,
Like when it'll
That'll
go
be
up
part
to
of
that
it. See how
property
it's
line
draining.
where Memphis Meadows is?
Yeah.
Because they're gonna
Might
put
have to
another,
build a
they're
little
putting one more
bridge.
house in, they started
Right.
prepping for it
yeah,
yesterday.
so we bought up to that line.
Okay.
But
What
we,
motion?
we're looking for a motion to at least move forward on sending letters and taking bids.
Yeah, well, I'll write a letter.
I
I
can't
won't
picture,
type it up, Donald.
I can't picture where the sidewalk would have no.
That's what we were just talking about, so.
Because
At the school end or the other end?
the school end, cause there's no sidewalk down there.
There is, it's on the other side of the ditch.
Yeah, it's on the opposite side of that, like, there's like a tree line there, right? There is a walkway there.
There is walkway, so we
Yeah.
never saw it.
Yeah, it goes to the, which I think is the
One of the
softball diamond, yeah.
Ties into the path.
It's the one that ties into the school that you can get to from the school, you can walk the whole thing.
So now you can walk all the way around behind the school and then
I
go
think
through.
oh yeah, that's all asphalt.
That'd be a huge.
Yeah.
Pardon?
The ones that come from the school or
Yeah.
it's an asphalt.
Yeah.
Okay,
Part of the mud.
we have a motion on the table, can I get
I
support?
support it.
What was the motion?
Who made the motion?
To basically send the letters and
To move
get
forward.
bids.
Yeah.
Who made it?
Larry.
Larry did.
Schneider?
Yes.
Sofa?
Yes.
Weaver?
Yes.
Wilson?
Yes.
Zimmer?
Yes.
Martyr?
Yes.
Mazer?
Yes,
That's down further, I see.
All right, so next up is the water tower parking lot. And again, Larry, you have something that you've written here that you would like to address?
Yeah, I'll just, what I worded here, I'll just repeat it. This has been discussed for many years and not acted upon because of costs. And I requested and receive a quote from DMJ Engineering for the design engineering, the amount of $29,000, and that's for the infrastructure and so on. the required drawings and when, if we do proceed with this project. So I would like to put this in the next fiscal year budget, 24 and 25, so. So it's just, and I'll just make one caution though, if we, depends how the revenue and how it comes out when we do the budget.
Right.
And, as long as it has
So
nothing-
what we're looking at is, I mean, because you have a wholly gravel parking lot and, so are we looking at going right to asphalt with this? Is that what your
That's,
thought
yeah,
is?
we'd have to do the infrastructure first anyway. We'd have to engineer that and have the drainage and all that.
Then we would, at the time, that's when we would have to completely redo Union Street, which is turned into a gravel road again, so.
So, but it's quite an expense, but, and we've been talking about doing that for quite a few years, but, if the, revenue stream is sufficient and we do the budget, I'd like to
Right.
get that part done, so.
Well, and getting that done would, you know, greatly help, I think, some of our local businesses here with some parking and just clean it up, so.
Larry, that 29,000, that for 4-year, 24, 25, that's just the engineering for it, correct?
Only the.
So that construction engineering, is that when they actually pound stakes and do elevations and all that stuff?
That's when you're actually doing the job.
Okay, so, but that's not part of the expense that we're talking about right now?
No, because the cost of doing that is very expensive,
Okay.
and I think it probably had to be down the road a little bit. So I'm just saying, if our revenue's enough this year that I can put it in there, I'll put it in the budget.
But we were talking about some concrete in there too.
Well, yeah, that'll be, that'll.
That would be part of the parking lot due to
That'll
the
be
garbage
part
trucks
of
and that.
the Engineering, yeah.
Okay.
So I just, I guess, I'll make a motion then that we put it on the budget, please, okay?
Support.
Sofa.
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
Zimmer.
Yes.
Martyr.
Yes.
Mazer.
Yes.
Schneider.
Yes.
All right, next up, the splash pad. Which if you read into this, it's,
Someone got a hold of me and said that they were gonna come back, the people that were here last month,
Yeah,
got a hold of me and said that they've been working on things themselves and planned to, they just don't have any new information for us yet, and plan to come back at a future meeting with some more information. They just couldn't make it, so if somebody else talked to them more, then,
well, we had, on the committee meeting, we discussed that and after reading all the chemical requirements, chlorine, pH, disinfection level, et cetera, and daily inspection, staffing, and other required requirements listed, we were kind of recommending that we not proceed, but if you want to.
because it takes a lot into keeping it
Oh,
up.
absolutely.
And the fact that you're gonna have kids running around there and you don't know what kind of supervision you're gonna have, and the maintenance on it could be pretty
And
hefty, so.
DPW committee, our DPW definitely don't have the
Why?
time and employees to do that.
I know most of them are not monitored. You go at the Goodalls and they're not monitored at all.
So we actually looked into what's required. Did you read what's in here?
Yeah, I kind of, but I know, I think.
So you have to maintain adequate disinfectant level in the water, you have to have minimum free available chlorine of 1.0 parts per million if not using cyanuric acid. Minimum free available chlorine of 2.0 if using cyanuric acid. A minimum total bromine of 3.0 parts per million. Maintain pH of 7.2 to 7.8. Conduct daily inspections before opening to the public. And you have to ensure disinfection, secondary disinfection such as UV and ozone, and recirculation systems and filters operation. Now, I don't know how much a UV ozone system costs, but I'm assuming it's not free. You have to inspect for and remove biofilms on splash pad surfaces such as the tank, spray nozzles, and drains. You have to test free available chlorine of total bromine and pH every 2 to 4 hours while open to the public. Maintain water turnover time of 30 minutes or less. That means you have to replace all your water every 30 minutes at least. Ensure drains prevent standing water from collecting in the water play areas. Clean the tank as needed. Document operation and management activities such as water testing results, response to testing results, equipment maintenance, etc., etc. So it's a little bit more than just putting the thing out there and.
And putting a couple of sprinklers in the concrete and turning the water on.
I guess those are the things like at Goodalls, you don't see them do that. You just don't see them. There's a maintenance man that runs around, you just,
I'll just go away, the DPW can't handle it.
No,
So,
right.
that's.
Sounds like a full-time job.
At this time.
Yeah, so.
I think they still got a full-time job.
We don't have the resources and.
good dog.
So,
Yes, I agree.
So
So,
Anyway, I'd like to make, unless you wanna wait, but I'd like to make a motion really to not proceed at least. I'll make that motion.
so do you want to support that?
Support.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Zimmer,
No.
Martyr,
Yes.
Mazer,
No,
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa.
Yes.
Okay, I got Weaver, Wilson, Martyr, Schneider, and Sofa, yes. Mazer and Zimmer, no, so motion carried.
Okay. Next up, Robert and Lois Street reconstruction. And again, Larry, you've got information on this.
Okay, the original water grant, name and service line replacement, so it was, Lois and Robert Street reconstruction. The old reconstruction was included originally, and due to the bids coming in much higher than expected, reconstruction was eliminated. The DPW committee is recommending we proceed with this in 24-25. And, you know, it's down the road, but I think we should seriously consider, because those roads would be a mess after they get done. And then, we can't, and we're gonna have, originally that grant was $1,420,000. And it included actually the reconstruction of the road. And the bids came in so high, we had to take it off.
We backed it off.
And then the bids still were, came in at $1,612,000 for all the others. And so we had to pick up the other $194,000 or $5,000.
Something like that, yeah.
So we're gonna be picking up that plus the mortgage, plus the $355,000, which was our portion of the $1,420,000 plus interest on that. So that's a 20-year pay schedule. So, but I think we'll have to do the road. I did make a spreadsheet there, kind of looking what we had in the local streets, and so and it, by the way, I've been told it's already engineered by our.
So, because it had been re-engineered because we're looking at all the other stuff they're doing, so.
So that's all, so they'll probably stay with the same engineering firm on this, because it's, they are the ones that engineered, so I just, would like to, do that in the next fiscal year.
And I believe the engineering was part of the grant, right?
Oh, yeah, that was
Yeah.
all part of the
Yeah.
grant, but it came in so much higher, you know,
Right.
and so we had to drop it off, plus we still, and then we had to pick up almost another 200,000 ourselves, so. So I just like to, do that. We don't have to vote on that tonight if you don't want to, but we'll probably, consider it if, proceeding with that next year. Okay?
Well, should we make a motion on putting this into our budget for the year or not?
you don't know how much it is yet.
No, no, well, I tried to figure it out, what the original quote was, and actually came in, it was somewhere, I'll just give you a ballpark figure, around 400,000, but that might,
Yeah.
it seemed kinda high, but that looks like it would be, and I haven't talked to him on it yet, other than the fact that we'll probably do it next year, and, so,
Okay.
but I haven't talked to him.
So, okay,
When I
so,
say next year, I'm talking about fiscal year.
right, correct. Okay. So no action on that one. All right, Memphis Meadows project, the condominium project. So when we get into this, I'm gonna invite Mr. Ahern and Mr. Dunbar to join in at any point in time with information when we're talking about this, okay?
Did you get my letter of response? I don't know if you had a chance to read it. I responded to a lot of the questions.
So I don't know who wants to take off this, Larry or Mr. Weaver, did you guys wanna lead off with this?
Can I just make kind of go over this in a brief summary.
Certainly.
On this, so I think I'll just read this off to kind of explain that, because I don't think we want to get into something that's going to last an hour or two. Questions from the Memphis Planning Commission on Memphis Meadows Phase 2 condominiums. Review of the sketch. I didn't have the blueprints to get some of this information. I had to use a magnifying glass and some of the things, so to kind of come up with some of it.
Right.
But the setbacks, the Memphis ordinance requires front yards 25 feet and rear yards 30 feet. And some of the setbacks are 20 feet or less. Now, I couldn't find anything where it's less, but maybe that was because I couldn't see it. So basically, most of them are 20 feet. I don't know the precise definition of surrogate, but I believe it's similar to a lot line, but adding easements, right-of-way, etc. This could make a difference in the setbacks in a condominium project. Some of the setbacks are 9 feet, as Ken stated in his letter. That needs to be reviewed. I couldn't find it, but again, I was looking at, I didn't have the regular prints with me. Okay, then the building length. Buildings numbers 13, 14, and 15, and 16 are 126.25 feet in length. The ordinance calls for a length of 125, so it exceeds by 1.25 feet. And the building height, the scheduled regulations show 25 feet, 2 stories under RM multiple family residential. The prints show 30 feet, it's 5 feet over. Road widths, generally our local roads are 18 feet wide and with 20 feet with curb and gutter. The condo development shows 25 feet wide with curb and gutter. The response to Mr. Dunbar's ordinance in this letter refers to street parking at a minimum parking on one side of the street. General requirements on pages 108 and 109 are in residential, 51 feet asphalt or concrete. I don't know exactly what this refers to, as most 2-lane roads will not be that wide. This could be an error. An additional standard, subdivisions or subdivided shall be read as condominium subdivision. Not sure how this would apply to a condo development unless the same regulation applies. My personal opinion, number 1, I don't know what that means.
Setbacks reviewed.
Yeah, reviewed by the building. Or have the setbacks reviewed by our building inspectors and address this concern. Number 2, 4 buildings are longer by less than 2 feet. Our building inspector could require the builder to comply with the ordinance if significant. It's approximately 3 inches per condo. In other words, you can just narrow the condos by 3 inches and be in compliance. Building heights, council could amend our height ordinance from 25 feet to 30 feet for all the buildings in the RM district, or the building inspector could allow in this project, or another option, of course, is just for the condo, we amend our ordinance to 30 feet just for those condos. Right. So it'd be the road width of 25 feet on this print is well within our requirement. This is what the small print that I have shows with a magnifying glass. I did not have enough hours to review the project and ordinance requirements in detail. I want to thank both Steve and Ken for their significant research and due diligence they have done on this issue. May I suggest we have the building inspector review the prints and advise the builder, planning commission, and council all if any necessary changes that must be made to comply with our ordinance. The building inspector must sign off on these prints and inform the Memphis Planning Commission prior to making any recommendation to council. Not only the building inspector has to sign off on this before the planning commission approves it, but the engineering firm has to sign off, and the drain commissioner from Macomb County has to sign off, which I believe they already have, but I'm not sure of that. So this is just a short thing.
The one blaring thing sticks out is the 51 feet. I really think that at the time, 20 years ago, whatever, when we did this condominium ordinance, it probably went in as a typo and stayed that way. Because I couldn't see where we would require a road to be 51 feet wide.
M19.
I know,
M19's like 33.
I am, I'm in agreement that I believe 51 feet is a typo.
So, yeah, so anyway, what I, other than maybe making Steve and I could look at it and amend the ordinance for the condo specifically, just for that project, and make an amendment to that, we could do that. The road, I think, is no problem. But I think we should rely on our building inspector, because that's his job, that's what he gets paid for, he gets paid to do that. And he should look at everything there, and if he's got any issues, he addresses the planning commission, or he addresses the builder, the planning commission, and then go from there. So that we don't get in going back and forth forever.
So you think we should table this until that's done?
Well, that's my decision, or well, that'd be my opinion.
I like it, I think.
Yeah,
Well, I would like the planning commission to review upping that 30-foot peak height. Because that is on the plans right now, and that's the only thing that really
Well, that's-
concerns me.
That's the only
at
thing
this
is
point.
blurring, and other than the.
And it's cut and dry, you don't really need a lot.
Well,
for that.
we should get their opinion formally, ask them to look at it and have the discussion, and then bring our findings back next month. But, I mean, I don't wanna surprise Memphis Metals by saying, oh yeah, by the way, you gotta knock your buildings down 25 feet, because we didn't address it, we know it's there, and
well, I
the rest of it, I mean,
You wanna vote on that and table the rest? Is that-
no, I just, ask the planning commission to formally review that ordinance and ask their opinion on it.
well.
That would be what we usually do, correct?
Make a recommendation.
I will look at the
Yeah.
ordinance, I can look at the ordinance, and I can make up an amendment to that and have it ready if we want it. I'd have no objection to doing that, but I just think some of this other issues, we could sit here all night and talk about this. And I think we should let the buildings, all the disciplines do their jobs, and that's what we pay them for. And they can, and we've done it before, so we can.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing that sticks out is the setbacks. As
Yeah,
far as the front and the back, that's.
Yeah, I lived in a detached condo for a few years, and I also had a condo one time, I don't have it now, but I had a Garden Grove. And I do know, and as a matter of fact, the sidewalk was on where my condo was, and there was only parking on one side of the street there. And I know I could put my car from the sidewalk to the garage, I had a room for a car with a few feet. It was very, you didn't have
They're
much
usually
room.
shorter setbacks.
Yeah,
than
so the setbacks were, they were a little less than this normal. And so I'm not sure what's allowed there or what is, but I think we gotta rely a little bit on our building. So I'd like him to look at all this.
Right.
And then-
That will make it the size of at least the size of a standard pickup truck,
Yeah,
so it's not overhanging on the sidewalk.
And I think probably the setbacks we're looking at are more probably between the buildings, right? I think
The
that-
front, in between the buildings are okay if we don't take into account the ambiguous language of the one point I point out. The front yards are an issue, because it's the setbacks from the right of way, not the roadway. And our code of ordinance requires that they have a 60-foot right of way, which that's where I got to the conclusion that some yards have a 9-foot setback.
Okay.
That being said, from what I can tell, that no law is allowed to specifically target condominiums. So we couldn't adjust the height requirement to it's 25 feet unless you're a condominium, then it's 30. I think that would be a no-go. The setbacks are specific to the district, so I think some communities may have shorter setbacks in that district, and the condominiums fall within that district, which allows them to have a smaller front yard setback. I do think that's something we could consider. 25 feet from the right of way could be excessive. That being said, I don't think we're talking about a huge change, other than I took the liberty of drawing up some plans that would comply with our code in my mind. And you can still fit 10 buildings on the lot, just not 16. These are to scale. Sorry.
Thank you.
Yep.
And you're saying, so this would knock them down from 16 buildings to 10?
To
This is
10.
a surmountable difference here.
Yes, and these are all, these buildings are all the smaller, the quadplexes, not the 5 buildings, so they're all within the
Right.
the width requirement. I mean, it's definitely much more open than proposed. There could definitely be some problems with this layout, but I think it complies with our code. The dotted line along the gray is the right of way.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
So, I noticed that in the 2 correspondences that we received, I'm not sure which one it was, but one of them seemed to be saying that, I don't know if it was what we thought or what you had read in the state law, that it seemed like some of the rules were specifically carved out for a mobile home park as opposed to an actual condo complex. So is there separations between what's allowed? Because I know they like to protect mobile home parks because they want to be able to jam them in, you know, whatever.
Yes.
Was that how you took that also?
Yes, there are specific rules for mobile home, which I believe the rule mentioned, 125.1944, is specifically to mobile homes. It does make mention of condominiums because that's an ownership type, but it's not referring to all condominiums.
Yeah, so it's not like zoning, it's more like how each piece of property is purchased or whatever you say, right?
Yes.
That's how I took it also.
Yeah, so they were saying that, you know, for mobile home parks, they can't be you can't require them to be more than 10 feet from the property line. You don't count the roads in your measurements, so it's just to allow people to have much more dense, cheap housing available.
Right. They do have a large lobbying consortium or whatever for the whole mobile home whatever corporations or whatever you want to call it.
Right.
So how many units total is this based on your drawing?
That would be 10 times 4,
So
so 40.
As opposed to the 64 they
Correct.
presented?
I just think our ordinance was written in such a way to prevent a large population density, and
Did you write that, Kat?
So, why don't we, can we get a motion to table this and we can?
Before you do that, I would like to ask for the planning commission to actually send us their recommendations, whatever they are, as far as that goes. Hopefully they can do it at their next meeting. I don't know if they can or not, I'm not sure if all the information is available. But I would ask that they send us whatever it is, if it's to make it 25 to 30 feet in height, or whatever the changes are, I'd like to just have a recommendation. And that doesn't mean that we have to abide by it, we can probably do whatever we want, but I'd like to have a recommendation from the planning commission. So I'll make a motion to ask the planning commission to send us a recommendation on what changes they would like to make. And they may make another recommendation at the next meeting about something else, I don't know. But I would like to have something as soon as possible, whatever recommendations they want us to make, that we should have it at our next meeting.
Do we have time for Mel to give them input? 'Cause like
If we don't, we don't. Yeah, if we don't, we don't. But I would just ask for recommendations.
Mel will be back, I think, in another week and a half, I think.
Right.
So we'll be back.
In the meantime,
So I think if Pierce, the recommendation's okay, then I think Mel, by that time, will have some input to it, and we get it all together, and we'll look at it.
right, and then from the developer too, I'd like to see, you know, I mean, yeah, I've looked at the PDF, okay, well, I don't care how big of a monitor you have, it's still pretty small scale, so it's one of those, if we can get the developer to get a full scale set of drawings here.
We have a set here now.
Oh, we do have a set?
Yeah, we have drawings.
Okay.
Does Michigan Meadows know all of this already?
I'm not sure.
They do not.
I have,
So can, go.
I do have regarding both buildings and setbacks and all that. We've got a couple very important lines that are gonna be buried, one of which is a water main, which will be turned over to the city. And then they applied for the sewer mains, which how they have it turned in and written on the print, what BMJ is currently reviewing as a public sewer also. the sewers, when they're completed with them, that gets turned over to the city. And on the sewer, I know they were having a lot of difficulties obtaining enough fall. I was advised, and I gotta agree with BMJ on this, is we're gonna need an inspector while that sewer main's being laid, placed, any manhole could be there all during the working hours, whether it takes 30 days, 40 days, whatever it may take for them to do that. And that comes at a cost, which would come out of the developer's pocket. I don't know if they're aware that they would be charged for that, if they even knew it, but somebody's gotta look over this water main placement, but big time on that sewer. I know they had issues with the fall and stuff. So, I got some ballpark numbers I'd rather not say in public at this time. So that's gotta be mentioned to the developers.
They did discuss that though, didn't they? And I don't remember the exact particular.
Yeah, they were talking about eliminating,
They did discuss that issue.
because we had our engineers sitting here at that time, and they were having trouble if they wanted to put basements in certain areas, because that land is really low, they got to bring a lot of fill in, and I'm not sure why they want to eliminate a basement. It's not like you have to go through the floor for a sewer, you can go up walls and stuff, but that's up to them what they choose to do. But I'm just guess, I don't take over somebody else's sewer system that was designed by their engineering firm, and somehow something gets overlooked, and we end up with nothing but sewer problems down the road on it. So,
Well, that's part of the.
but that's part of the
that's part
building, and
their
I'm
cost.
not even sure when they wanna break ground on any of that stuff, so.
That's part of their cost, the developer's cost, and if it gets too expensive, they're gonna back out. But
Yeah.
that's up to them. That's.
But we need to keep a dollar amount in escrow from them to cover the cost.
Well, they did that before on the
Yes.
other, so they're doing that. Anyway,
So Eric's got a
Yeah, there's a motion on the table, and
Support, yeah, I support
I'd
it.
like to,
You support it?
Yeah.
I, okay, you've already.
I supported Eric.
Okay.
Oh.
For the planning commission.
Yeah.
And then they'll go
Oh,
over.
okay.
All right.
I'd like to, I don't know, I'd like to add to that, until we get Mel's, I want Mel's response to, our building inspector.
I don't care when it happens,
Yeah.
but I don't think we should do anything until we get a recommendation from the planning commission. So if that needs to be 2 months from now, then that's fine. If we can do it before the next council meeting, that's great. The timing to me doesn't really matter, but I want a recommendation from the planning commission before I vote on anything.
Well, specifically on that peak height though, Eric, and everybody, I did speak to Nolan when this first came up, and he did give his opinion on that, and he said that older communities like ours, basically 25 foot was a run-of-the-mill thing, and that his recommendation was be fine to raise it to 30 feet, but to keep it directed to phase 2 condominium ordinance, so that it would not change the overall height variances that we have around the city now. So he did, that particular issue he is aware of.
Would there be a variance?
We talked to us about it.
Would you put that in the
I think-
contract? Hold on one
What you were
second.
saying?
That would contradict what I was saying.
Yes, because Kenny said you can't make something specific for them, but we could grant them a variance for their heights.
We can amend any ordinance, can we?
Sure.
Well,
When you do it, it's gonna be for every building in town.
every building in the residential multi.
Isn't that why we have a condo ordinance?
The condo ordinance points all height requirements, building density to the building density chart in our ordinance.
Gotcha.
So if you built a single-family detached condominium, it would require it'd have to meet the setbacks and building heights of a R1.
So it could be 32, it could be 30 as well.
If we changed it.
If you changed
If you
it.
changed
Okay.
it.
It
So it
just,
just can't be specific to Memphis Meadows, it has to
Correct.
be uniform
yes.
to all.
Which, if the legislative body would like to amend that to 30 feet, that's fine. I just don't
It
want
just
it to
can't
be
be specific.
specific.
Right.
But it could be specific to a certain zoning area.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you wanted to make another zoning district, rezone that property for that zoning district, it could be
that specific district.
Residential
maybe 30.
multiple, right? Residential multiple.
That's currently what it is, zoned as is residential.
Yeah.
We can still vote on it.
All right, Wilson,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Martyr,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Weaver.
Yes. All right, moving right along. New business. Set the spring burn date.
Oh, I'm sorry, do we need a motion to table?
Well, no,
So
actually,
nothing
no.
was really up for a vote anyway, it was all information only.
Alright. I thought
Well, and that was basically
height.
turn it back over, oh, you mean.
If you wanna vote on the height, you can make it.
well, I wasn't sure,
I think,
before
you
move
know
on.
what, we
That
can
should
bring
be
it
the
back as a whole ball of wax, how's
Okay.
that?
Sounds good, thank you.
Right, so, spring
By the
burn.
way, thank you guys for doing
Yeah,
what
yeah,
you've
that
done.
information you guys have
Awesome.
been working.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ken
bring-
did the
bring
bullet
back
points on it,
memories.
so I backed him up. I said, go to city council with your bullet points, which he presented to you, and I think he did a great job on it.
Okay.
Thanks.
Absolutely.
All right, spring burn dates. We want to set the burn dates for April 14th through May 30th. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Martyr,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson.
Yes.
What were those dates again?
April,
14 and 30, they're in your packet.
30th.
April to May.
April.
April 14th to May 30th.
All right, next up, setting the budget hearing dates. Monday, May 20th, Tuesday, May 21st, and Wednesday, May 22nd at 5 PM. And I just know that Larry's gonna have it all, but we'll be through it on the first day. But let's set the dates for those 3 days, just in case.
We'll have
You
it
jinxed it.
21st.
Yeah, I did, right?
As chairman of the finance committee, I say I'm pretty good at delegating.
Any motion?
So you wanna make a motion,
To
then?
approve May 20th, May 21st, May 22nd.
Support.
Martyr,
Yes.
Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Zimmer.
Yes.
Okay.
Next up is our lagoons.
You want me to hand that to?
Sure, I want you to take care of the muskrats and the woodchucks.
Okay, where is that, that's down, it's down, okay. Lagoon berm erosion due to animal investigation, muskrats and groundhogs causing a severe erosion of approximately 200 feet of the berm. It requires corrective action as soon as possible. Please refer to the quote from Tom Ward and Sons dated March the 20th, 24, in the amount of $24,000. And this will be funded for the water and sewer fund. So, I'm sure Mark could give you a little more information on, but.
The 200, when you say 200 feet, Larry, it might be misleading, because we have two ponds and it's right in the middle. It's 100 feet in one and 100 in the other.
It's the berms in between.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so you got,
Right, so in
oh,
other words, you have a lagoon, a berm,
yeah,
and a lagoon. So it's in between, so the thing is, so you have your fresh waste, and then you have the waste that's over here after they transfer, and that sits in that lagoon until it's almost clear water before it's discharged. So the thing is, this is in between, which is like, it's gonna keep the lagoon separated.
It's ugly. I went down there and looked at it.
yeah,
Yeah,
you said
you
you
can
were
see it
gonna
from the
walk,
gate.
I was hoping you.
Yeah, you can see it from the gate. You can just see the grass is a different color. You can see there's holes in the berm.
Yeah.
It's gotta be
And,
handled.
one other comment too, the lagoon will require a water discharge to be completed, and like, before you can do that, right?
Oh, yeah, you can't do this without having to be watered, if you will, or discharged down to a certain level, both ponds. have
So,
got to get
so the clear water pond would be discharged, and then you'd move part of the water from the
Yeah.
initial one into the other one and bring both the levels down. Okay.
And it's gonna be clay, right? You have to put clay
Yeah,
down.
we're trying to.
It's not just put a pile of dirt down there,
No,
so you
no,
know.
no, it's gonna be clay, in fact, we're gonna be, putting, once the clay's in place, we'll be putting a mesh down, a fabric, and then, actually some chain link fencing to avoid this
trying to
Probably.
deter 'em from digging.
Yeah, and then, and I don't know how many people's aware of what we done to the river for that,
Right,
that road
basically
that we're
that
down
same
there.
thing along the river.
It's very similar to what that, and
Right,
that's.
where you put a heavy aggregate in there and.
Yeah, so there'd be
Deter the
limestone.
digging.
And, yes, so,
And erosion.
yes.
They're definitely not digging on the river anymore.
No, they're not. No, it's looking real good.
So, can I get a motion to,
I'll make that motion to, for the burn restoration to Tom Ward and Sons, and then all $24,000.
Support.
Mazer,
Yes.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Martyr.
yes,
Where it says exclusions, does that mean some of these, there might be additional fees on top of that?
I'm
For like
sorry, Rob, I
burn-
couldn't hear you.
Will there be more fees? It says inspection fees and permits and bonds and staking and, where it
Is
says
that what it says
exclusion.
on the wards,
Mhm.
if those are necessary? Yeah, that would be in addition to it.
Would be additional, okay.
So we're trying to take care of this as much in-house as possible. I agree with everything he has said. I don't have a problem with the design and the concept of the design. But it is gonna be time consuming just to start the discharging and then jump into another pond and getting that down to a acceptable level to get this done correctly. So it's all in my park right now, and then
did we vote on the show?
Is there a number 4 or no?
No.
One, two, three, five.
1, 2, 3, and 5?
Yeah.
Yeah, so number 5, 4, whatever you wanna call it, the invoice,
Here, on the first
I don't know, we're talking about it
On the agenda.
on the agenda itself. Anyway, so the last item on the agenda is the lumberjack shack for the doing some massive repairs to one of our zero turns. I talked to Bart about this earlier, and kind of a big overhaul on it all. I mean, the bill's, pretty hefty at $1,642, but at the cost of buying a new one at $12,000 to $14,000.
12,500 something, I think it was, for a new, and I pulled the trigger on this, so we'll go ahead and repair it, and hopefully I can get over another year out of it, but there's gonna be a day we're gonna have to bite the bullet and replace that mower. We've had it for roughly 13, 14 years. And it is obviously being used commercially, it's not, if an individual owned that hustler, you would never have to replace it.
Want a motion?
Yep.
I'll make a motion to approve the amount of $16.4244 to lumberjack.
Schneider,
Yes.
Sofa,
Yes.
Weaver,
Yes.
Wilson,
Yes.
Zimmer,
Yes.
Martyr,
Yes.
Mazer.
Yes.
All right, I didn't pass anything else, right? So. Hmm? Okay. All right, for myself, just wanna thank everybody for the time and the planning. You guys have been dumping a lot of hours into it. Becky, welcome on board. And thanks for stepping up. That's all I have, Mr. Sofa. Larry?
Yeah, I got a couple of things. St. Clair County Road Commission has been working on Bell River for the last couple of weeks or so on the engineering. And so boring and putting stakes up and things, so that project, as we told you before, will be probably, once school is out in June, late June, we'll start with. The other thing is, Bart and I attended a meeting with the St. Clair County Road Commission on Wednesday, March the 13th, and they appear to be requesting projects for the years 26 through 29, and we're hopeful we can get phase 3 of Gordon Road on that, and that would be from Anderson, I believe. So that, we'll try to get that, at least in the hopper for that, so down the road. I think that's all. There's a couple of things I had information only. You can read them over, and so, but I won't need to talk about it. So and that's all I have.
Mr. Weaver?
I've been talking to the lady who heads up the Blue, or rather the Bell River watershed, and also the Clinton River watershed, two different organizations. So I bought a kayak landing, trying to get a little more information, just for fun. There's 7 of them around St. Clair. I'm gonna go around, take some pictures of them, see how they're built and designed and so forth and so on. And, give me some good tips on, how to pursue grant money. Just throw them down a little
And
bit.
it's one of those, you look at, it's like, I think that, having a kayak launch here at the park would be great, but I think the biggest difficulty we have is the water levels. Go from nothing to where, it was almost to the road, so.
Yeah, that's why I wanna go actually take some pictures. They got 7 of them in, and they've done them on roofs all over the place. So it's just interesting to see. And I mentioned it to Becky. But a water would give us a nice big fat designation as a state access point. And we can open up a lot of other things for us, just, through the DNR and whatnot. That's all I have. Thanks.
Robbie?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, if we're still getting that gazebo from Richmond. Do you know anything about that?
Say that again?
That gazebo that Richmond
I
donated?
haven't heard anything, but I know we're looking at how to get it here and where we're gonna put it, so.
Would they pay, could it be paid to be delivered or no?
No.
They will not deliver it?
No, we have to pick it up.
Because normally it's something that's built on site. A lot of the things that they sell there do get delivered, but this thing is normally built on site, so we're gonna have to
Dismantle
get a
it?
crane and a rigger and pick it up.
Or dismantle it, how?
Or just, yeah, it's got a roof on it, I don't know how,
So
but he would, Eric knows more, but.
So I did talk to Mike Siska about borrowing his crane. I'm trying to get a hold of, anyways, I'm trying to get a hold of somebody else to help us. I'm not sure, it weighs 5,500 pounds, which I did not realize how heavy it was, so I'm hopeful. We got like 3 or 4 weeks right now to go over there and get it.
What is the dimension of it again?
16 by 12, I believe.
16 by 12, so even if you were to get, say, per se, you can get a record company that would be able to load it. But you still have to go as a wide load down the road and.
It might be a
various-
height issue too.
Yeah, it's pretty tall.
Where would it go?
It's 15 feet, I believe, to the peak.
Oh, from the ground? Yeah, so then once you put it on a flatbed, then you're above.
I think we're gonna have to cut the stanchions off of it and put it on a low boy or whatever, and then reattach it when it gets here. That's the only way I can see to move. I can't see move something 15 feet off the ground, 5 or 6 miles down M19. I mean, you drive down M19, you could just see you'd have to friggin' deal with every wire that crosses the road,
Right.
other than the big tall ones, the big giant pylons. What were you saying?
Where was it going?
Well, actually, we went and looked at the city property at the Lions Club. By the playground, there's a bench that's already there, and it actually looks fairly level, so I think if we were to just put some concrete tubes in the ground, or even just, like Barbara was saying, just to dig out some holes and put some concrete pads down there. But, I mean, I'm hopeful right now, but I'm not promising anything right now. I definitely can't move it. I mean, I'll help or whatever, but
What about the moving company out of Burville, that C&A Movers?
I don't know.
I mean,
I
I
don't
don't know
know.
if they would charge, but that Fred that owns that, they move houses and garages. They got a garage always sitting on the
Yeah,
yard.
we did move a house over there.
Not from Richmond. Yeah, you didn't drive here from Richmond, though. That's the
Yeah, but you had to pay,
You gotta pay Edison, you gotta pick the lines up, and you've gotta have an escort,
And
and.
just-
I think you're gonna have to cut the supports off of it.
Yeah, I haven't looked
It's
at
the only
it.
way I can see doing it.
So it does have legs on it.
Yes.
It's not sitting.
And they go right up inside, and then it's like all enclosed with, I think it's vinyl. I mean, it's beautiful, but I didn't realize it was 5,500 pounds. That's what shocked me.
My goat house was
So it's a nice looking,
It's beautiful.
piece of
All right.
building, maintenance free, you know, that part. I don't know if it's free, but if we do get it, it'll be.
Well, I think he said it was, if you bought it new, it would be 15,000, is that what he said?
I think so.
Yeah, I think he said 15,000 if you were to purchase it.
Okay.
It's crazy.
Mr. Zimmer?
Couple updates. One, the .gov domain, we're still waiting on the government to give us our domain name.
Okay.
We're at 43 days.
Oh my God, you're out. You
It
could
was
be
supposed to
here forever.
be 20 days, but we're at 43. We got the final quote, everything like that, with the different licenses. It did come in a little bit low, or a little bit higher monthly, but lower implementation, so it kind of levels off. The other thing, I'm sorry, back to this, I've talked to VC3. Donna, I don't know if they've reached out to you yet. You've been on those email chains
Yeah.
with the implementation guy. We're basically waiting to get the government thing. And once that's done, we'll be able to go forward.
Okay.
The other thing, I was approached by Robert Stocky. Donna, I think he reached out to you, or Amber.
Concerning what? I gotta refresh my memory.
The Memphis website, the city of Memphis website. Cause we run on a Google website, right? Sites.google.com.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we told him to call you because you're working on that.
Yeah, so sites.google is potentially going away. So our free hosted website could be going away. And he asked if we would be interested in modernizing our website. They would manage it, they would host it, they would do everything, obviously for a cost. But I just wanted to see the council's appetite for even entertaining that idea or waiting until we had to make a decision. I think there's benefits to both, so I could see an argument both ways. There is potentially administrative burden that could be taken off of Donna and Amber if you, off of Amber. If you put a lot of the things online and have it accessible for people online, they wouldn't have to call Amber to get it, she wouldn't have to do some of the legwork. However, there's a cost for that. And I know that Donna and Amber are very busy, so I don't know if that would help or hurt, I'm not sure, so, again.
Amber told him to call you because we didn't know about this domain, we don't know much about it, like if the website's included in that, or
Yeah,
we didn't know anything.
So his recommendation was basically to build a new website for us. One that they host, they build, they maintain. So one of the examples, they built the St. Clair Township one. And so like we have a meeting today, whenever you get the minutes typed up, you would just email them to him and he would post it on the website. If someone needs a form, they could preload a PDF into there, and if someone calls or stops in, you could say, it's on the website, go get it from the website, print it, bring your money and pay it, you know? So that would be the administrative help that it would provide, plus it'd be a more modern website than the Google Sites website that we currently have. So, again.
How much is it gonna be, do you know?
It varies. The maintenance, so to do like the minutes and stuff like that, the maintenance is $75 an hour. And what you do is you sign up for monthly, like 2 hours a month, and then it's billed quarterly. So $150 a month, billed, you know, maybe it's 2 hours every quarter, whatever it is. So that's done that. And then implementation is dependent upon how many pages you want within your website. So he said he's willing to come to a council meeting and explain everything, probably way better than I can. Or he's willing to show us or get us a quote of some kind, like a ballpark. But again, I know we talked about this before when Steve brought it up about potentially modernizing our website. And there wasn't much of an appetite for it, so I didn't want to commit to anything before tonight when we were talking. I just talked to him today, so.
Okay.
What are your guys' thoughts?
I'd love to explore it, it's new information, I mean, especially if Google's going away, and it is kind of a clunky site.
Yeah, it's not super user friendly.
Yeah.
So
It's an opportunity there, we got the money for it, I guess is what it is. You get good at a lot of benefits.
Yeah, you know, I mean, if you can arrange to have them come to a council meeting and
Sure.
give us a presentation, that'd be great.
I'll try to get them here for next month, and we can put it on the agenda.
Okay.
That's it?
Mr. Schneider?
Well, I just wanted to thank the planning commission one more time because I really learned a lot just from the letters and what I read about the condo ordinance, and it looks like we need to clean that up a little bit, obviously, here at the last minute before we go forward with this project, and, thank you guys.
Welcome.
Thank you. And, that's all I have, motion to adjourn.
Hold on, Mr. Mayor. I just wanna let everybody know the chamber's back up and running. We decided to have our meetings at the fire hall to make it easier for everybody, so we're not trying to get into the school. So our next meeting is gonna be Tuesday, April 23rd at 9 AM at the fire hall.
Thanks, Debbie. Motion carried.
23rd, what?